just gonna go around it, just saying that it would be amazing if you could share with us what was your life journey? What took you to work with men, to decide to start working with men and follow this path and start the Mars contract?
It's a long story, so I'm going to see how concisely I can tell it. When I was growing up, I had a lot of strong masculine energy. I really thought I was supposed to be a boy. You know, my best friends were boys. We would get dirty, we would fight, we would climb trees. All of that really, really resonated with me. I was very much attracted to that. And I was also attracted to my feminine energy and playing with dolls. I had tons of Barbies. But what was interesting is my masculine energy and behavior was rewarded, right? I was rewarded for leadership, for confidence, for courage, for being tough, for, not feeling too much, right? For being very out of the way, can handle life. My feminine energy wasn't rewarded so much. It was often ignored, and it was also overly sexualized. And this is a phenomenon that we're seeing more and more. So it was easy. And then plus with family dynamics, with really respecting and loving my father and being very afraid of my mother, that created another disconnect between my masculine and feminine energy. And take in mind, this is during the late 70s, 80s. Nobody was talking about this. This wasn't the conversation. So as I was growing up, I naturally fed my masculine energy because I was getting good feedback from that. I was being rewarded. It felt safer. I grew up without any protection, without really having anyone to provide for me. I was on my own at a very young age. And so I naturally leaned into my masculine energy to keep myself safe, to provide for myself. And so as I grew up, I had a deeper and deeper feminine wound, basically, where I didn't trust my feminine energy. I didn't know how to utilize it appropriately. When I did, it usually was a bit toxic, and it was laden with some type of sexual manipulation, because that's what I was observing and learning. And so I leaned heavy into my masculine energy. And as I grew up, I was on my own since I was a pretty young teenager, and I gravitated towards the construction industry. So I had a 22-year career in construction, and usually I was the only woman on the job site, right? So I have a background as a master carpenter and a remodeler, and I ran my own business for 15 years doing residential remodeling. And so while I was in construction all day long as the only woman on the job site, usually I would be talking to the men all day. And of course, most of them became really dear, close friends and coworkers of mine. We had a very deep rapport established, a lot of trust. And so of course, all day long, we would talk, and we would talk about relationship dynamics, understanding women, all sorts of different sex questions, like anything and everything. They'd want to pick my mind as a woman, and we'd have very deep, compassionate conversations. And I started to have more and more compassion for what men were going through and how little help and support and community they really had, that helped them become strong, healthy men, right? As women, we have natural biological rites of passage. We have our menarche, which is the onset of our menstruation, right? Mm-hmm. And we also have childbirth. Significant rites of passage where you have to, there's no turning back. You have to face the fact that this is womanhood. This is a big element of womanhood, and it does take a certain amount of courage and determination, right? And acceptance. And traditionally, men would have this rite of passage as well. It was either marked by a significant hunt that would take place when the boys were at age, or going off to war. And we don't really have this as a culture anymore. Our boys are lacking a rite of passage into manhood. And I've also seen, we're going on 3 to 4 generations of boys being raised predominantly by women with no strong male role model in their home. And it is creating a deep wound, and it's a deep cultural emasculation that's happening. And so I recognize, I thought I was going to be working with women, especially mothers, because I'm a single mom. And I realized, looking at my life and looking at how frustrating it has been for me, like I love men, I have wonderful men in my life, I always have, but I never really had someone who provided for me or protected me in the way that I always wanted. And that was in and out of relationship, family dynamics. There was always something a little broken, a little missing. And so I had to really go deep within and take responsibility and acknowledge and really identify my role in that. And then I started realizing that this is also a cultural phenomenon where men need more help in this. They need that connection back into their core primal masculinity, and to know that it's safe to be there, and how to really hold that space, and also how important it is for women and children in their lives to be able to witness that power, that masculine power and ability to lead and to provide and to protect. So it became a natural progression of, okay, this is what I want more in my life and in the world. So this is what I'm going to dedicate myself to doing. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
And that's fascinating for the fact that you decided, to continue your work with men and helping men, and not continue the path through helping also transition women, because you also had your process of going from a very masculine driven career to integrating and following the path of coming back to your femininity, right?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of help and support for women already. I think there's so many people already doing that work, and I applaud them. And don't get me wrong, I still have female clients. I still have women that come to me and they're like, like, tell me how you connect with men so easily and so well. And that's really fun. I love talking about that, because men are easy. You guys are easy and fun. I mean, I find it easier working with men personally, because I can be as brutally honest as I want. And the men I work with are really eager. They're really eager to experience this type of liberation that they get from really owning their power. And they're just thrilled to be able to ask anything and everything about women and sexuality. So they're really excited and eager to learn. So that's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.